Okay. Everything's screwed up. Nothing worked. Hi, if you're here. Hi, Lynn. So if you're on the YouTube link that I posted on Twitter, that did not start. I think it started its own YouTube link. Give me just a second here to see what's actually going on YouTube. And the title didn't update. Nothing happened. It's all wrong. Hold on. Let me get rid of the one. Give me a second here, and I will change this one. Come on. Let me schedule it. Give me just a moment here. There might be nothing I can do. Let's see if I can bring those guys in. We'll just save that there. That's not right. I got to delete that. Hold on, guys. I apologize. Welcome to Facts and Friends. Welcome to the live stream, whatever we're going to call this today. I just thought we might watch a press conference. Let me just start the press conference. Here's Jen Psaki walking in. I'm going to be not paying attention for a couple of minutes while I sort out what's going on here. So enjoy.
We have another great guest today. Joining us today is our new Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Marcia Fudge, who was confirmed just last week. We wasted no time. As you all know, Secretary Fudge served as U.S. Representative for the 11th Congressional District of Ohio for more than 12 years. She's a former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus and earned a reputation of tackling the unique challenges of her district by working across political ideologies. In 1999, Secretary Fudge was elected the first female and first African-American mayor of Warrensville Heights, Ohio, a position she held for 2 terms. As mayor of Warrensville Heights, she adopted one of the first vacant and abandoned property ordinances in the state. Additionally, she brought new residential development to the city and addressed the city's growing foreclosure crisis through the formation of a long partnership that helped residents maintain the financial security needed to buy or keep a home. As Secretary Fudge has said, her first priority as Secretary of Housing.
I don't know. I don't know if we're actually live or not. I mean, yeah, we are, apparently. I don't know where we are. Okay, those of you watching, you're good, right? Those of you not watching, I can't help you. You're not watching. So it must be Monday. I have no idea. But what I do like, this is my Seattle Sounders shirt, which I wore yesterday because it's my green shirt. And my green screen effect is still on. My green screen is all rolled up. I just have this void behind me. But today, I'm all about America. I love this. I didn't realize this shirt is almost a perfect green screen. If you don't know what the Seattle Sounders green color is, it's kind of a lime. But you can look it up. So I'm happy with this in terms of what's going on in I don't know. And Restream just wants me to pay more money to make this work. So it's probably my fault somehow. But here we go. Let's get back to Jen Psaki. So let's we don't care about the guests, we care about the questions. Congratulations to Congressperson Fudge or whoever that is. Let's move on. Not going to be a long show today. I just thought I'd start this up and then see what happened.
Okay. Just have a. What'd you say?
You can't walk off music.
We can. Wait till month 3. Wait till month 3. We'll be rolling it out with people's second visits. As we announced yesterday, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information on the schedule for next week. You may have seen we confirmed that the president will be traveling to Columbus, Ohio on Tuesday, the anniversary of the Affordable Care Act being signed into law. The trip will be a part of our Help Is Here tour and will highlight how the American Rescue Plan will lower healthcare costs for many American families. And this is a component of the package that we've talked about, but we're still working to ensure the American people understand how they can benefit from this particular piece. The Affordable Care Act has been an important lifeline for Ohio families for 11 years. The law cut the state's uninsured rate by half, dropping from 12% to 6%. It has also provided critical consumer protections for millions Ohioans more by preventing insurance companies from discriminating based on pre-existing conditions. And the American Rescue Plan makes coverage under the ACA even more affordable for Ohio families. Over 90,000 currently uninsured Ohioans can get a better deal on health insurance because of the law and premiums for people who have coverage under the ACA. And the former Ohio governor was one of the first, if not the first, Republican governor in the country to expand Medicaid access during that period of time, and that is certainly something we continue to note around here. Another update on the schedule is in the wake, a couple of updates, I should say, part on the schedule and part on steps we're taking as it relates to the horrific events in Atlanta earlier this week. In the wake of the horrific shootings in Atlanta on Tuesday, the president ordered the U.S. flag to be flown at half staff as a mark of respect for the victims of these senseless acts of violence. The president and the vice president will also meet with representatives from the Georgia Asian American and Pacific Islander community when they travel to Georgia on Friday. They will meet with the state legislators and community advocates to hear about the impact of the incident on the community and to get their perspective on the rise in anti-Asian hate incidents. The president will also offer his support for the AAPI community in Georgia and across the country and talk about his commitment to combating xenophobia, intolerance, and hate. As many of you may know, and I think I've been asked about this in here previously, but Senator Mazie Hirono and Congresswoman Grace Meng have introduced legislation that calls for expanded DOJ review of COVID-19 related hate crimes, for guidance from DOJ to law enforcement for best practices in reporting hate crimes, and ensures that hate crimes information and reporting is more accessible to Asian American communities. The president applauds their leadership on this issue, including along with Chair Judy Chu's, and he strongly supports these crucial aims of this legislation. He issued a presidential memorandum his first week in office directing the Attorney General to support state and local agencies and AAPI communities to prevent hate crimes and expand data collection and public reporting. That is ongoing. The outreach and engagement from DOJ is already underway. There's also a role for HHS to play, which we expect can pick up more once Secretary Becerra, future Secretary Becerra, is sworn in. And as I noted yesterday, also from here, he's asked Cedric Richmond, who, of course, we've all heard.
Quick update. The chat function is also not working. I don't know what's going on today. Mondays, am I right? So I will, I'll work on bringing the YouTube chat over. And I don't know if you're on Twitter right now watching, which it looks like some of you are, or Twitch, jump over to YouTube, because I don't know if the function that pushes your chat into the YouTube and then up to that chat room is working. That chat room is not working. I'm going to pull in YouTube and see if we can at least have the YouTube chat up there, because most of you, it looks like, are on YouTube right now. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like the broadcast, give it a thumbs up. I'm still waiting on my remonetization. They took away my monetization, so I can't make any money on YouTube. Can't do super chat. I can't get paid for the ads that run before my show. Everybody hates ads anyway, so really this is better for you. So I'll bring in the YouTube chat room in a second.
And former congressman, and Susan Rice to lead an effort to engage with the community as well. Last piece, today the House will also be voting on the American Dream and Promise Act and the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. President Biden and this administration support passage of both pieces of legislation. These bills would provide a path to citizenship for Dreamers, individuals with temporary protected status, and farm workers. Both pieces of legislation passed the House last Congress with bipartisan support and have broad support from the American public. These bills, in his view and our view, are critical milestones toward much-needed relief for the millions of individuals who call the United States home, and an acknowledgement that a path to citizenship for these essential workers is critically important to our economy and our nation's food and agricultural sectors. We also urge Congress to reform other aspects of our immigration system by passing President Biden's bill, the U.S. Citizenship Act, a bill that he proposed on his first day in office, which would establish a new system to responsibly manage and secure a border, bring long overdue visa reforms to keep families together and grow our economy, and address the root causes of migration from Central America. with that, Zeke, kick us off.
Thank you, Jen. Just following up on a scooplet from our colleague Jeff over here.
A scooplet. I don't know that Reuters calls it scooplets, but
If you can confirm that the U.S. plans to loan 4 million AstraZeneca vaccines to Mexico and Canada, what's the timeline for when that transaction would take place? And why only 4 million of a stockpile that is several times that for a vaccine that isn't authorized here?
absolutely. So, as I've noted in here before, but worth noting again, our first priority remains vaccinating the U.S. population. The reality is the border knows no, the pandemic knows no borders, and ensuring our neighbors can contain the virus is a mission critical mission critical to ending the pandemic. We have 3 vaccines approved, as you well know, and of course, there's a rigorous review process by the FDA. There are other vaccines, of course, including AstraZeneca, that are going through the approval process now, and we have been taking action here to get ready to get those vaccines to the American people if they are approved. As we await FDA approval here in the U.S., many countries, as you know, have already requested, have already approved AstraZeneca and also have requested our doses from the United States. That includes Canada and Mexico, but is certainly not limited to Canada and Mexico. And balancing the need to let the approval process play out of the AstraZeneca vaccine as it's taking place in the U.S. with the importance of helping stop the spread in other countries. We are assessing how we can loan doses. That is our aim. It's not fully finalized yet, but that is our aim and what we're working toward to Canada and Mexico. This is a complex process, and our team is working with the companies to move it forward. And I want to, on your question about the number of doses, there have been a range of reports about the number of doses. I can confirm that we have 7 million releasable doses available of AstraZeneca, and as noted in Jeff's scooplet, which I'm just going to keep calling it, 2.5 million of those we are working to finalize plans to lend those to Mexico, and 1.5 million to Canada.
And what's the nature of that transaction? Would it just be for future AstraZeneca production, or would there be
Meaning what's in the loan?
Yeah.
It could be for future AstraZeneca doses or other doses, yes.
And on a different topic, I was wondering if you saw the comments from Russian President Vladimir Putin this morning, responding to the president's comments in the interview on Tuesday night. Is the president worried at all that he may have inadvertently started a little war of words and trading shots back and forth and get in the way of finding some common ground on various shared priorities?
Well, President Biden and President Putin.
AstraZeneca is not approved in the United States. It's approved in Canada, the UK, Europe. The World Health Organization has approved it. Some countries in Europe have stopped administering it because of blood clots. However, it certainly looks, from everything that I've read, that the same amount of blood clots occur in AstraZeneca patients as occur in the regular population. So I don't know how long that's going to be stalled in, for example, Germany. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I said about a month ago, right when Canada said, yeah, we're going to do the AstraZeneca, let's get this going, because Canada needs vaccines. They're way behind us in terms of being in the United States. My sister is a nurse, but she's not eligible for, she's a nurse who works in a hospital, but in where the province where she lives, she still can't get the vaccine because the province has determined that since she's working with kids at a children's hospital, she doesn't need it because, kids. Meanwhile, Republicans are all like, open the schools, open the schools. Kids don't get infected, so it's okay. Get these kids out there. Don't worry. Teachers, don't worry about getting vaccinated. Just get back to school. We really need the schools. But then you've got minors coming across the Mexican border, and they're going to kill us with their COVID. What about all the migrants? What about all the illegals? All those 12-year-old illegals? We need to test I don't know. It's all double standards.
Certainly have different perspectives on their respective countries and how to approach engagement in the world. But where they agree is that we should continue to look for ways to work.
Oh, I didn't even finish my thought. So once Canada approves a vaccine, Like, the FDA should just say, like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys are good. Yep, sure, let's do it. What? Why? What? I mean, the EMA has approved it. That's Europe. The WHO has approved it. That's who? And Canada. They've all approved the AstraZeneca vaccine. We have 7 million doses sitting around. By the way, great idea to loan them to Canada or to Mexico to bring in further vaccines. 2.5 million doses in Canada makes a huge difference. That's almost 10% of the population that would want to get the vaccine in Canada. I say put it into the water supply, for God's sake. Let's get this taken care of.
Together, as was noted in part of President Putin's comments, and there are areas of mutual interest.
Noel says AstraZeneca has received the all clear to resume in Europe. Okay, good. Thank you. I didn't know that, Noel. I really have to find myself a good European news channel. On Pluto TV. By the way, Pluto TV is free. You can get it on your Android, probably your iPhone. If you have an iPhone, get an Android. You can get it on your Roku, your Samsung TV, your Fire Stick. It's everywhere. But Pluto TV is very cool because you get news sources from all over the place. As well as we watched Throw Mama from the Train for free on Pluto TV on Friday. There's a whole bunch of movies on Pluto that you would like. How did this movie get on there? And there's an ad break about every 10 minutes or so, but it's a free movie channel. So if you want to cut back on your Netflix or you're trying to save money on your Prime or whatever, pro tip, get Pluto TV. I'm really, really happy with Pluto TV right now. They also have things like the Young Turks, and they have the Blaze. So they've got both sides of the political spectrum.
START, which we just extended for 5 years, is an example of that. Obviously, Russia is also a member of the P5+1 as we look ahead to what's possible there as it relates to preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. So we are confident that we can continue to look for ways where there's a mutual interest, mutual national interest.
Cujo, you can't get Pluto in Canada? That's crazy talk. Really? Is that accurate? Have you tried a browser that has VPN? Browser like Opera, but I think Opera just does North America. But if you have a VPN or access to a VPN, DuckDuckGo might be a browser that lets you VPN. I'm constantly getting ads from DuckDuckGo. We can do a little research on that later, but I'm sure there's a way you can get Pluto in Canada.
But the president is not going to hold back, clearly, when he has concerns, when he has, whether it is with words or actions. Go ahead. I'll go to you, Nacho. You have a scooplet. You can go after a few other people. Go ahead.
On that same topic, obviously you say that you want to work together with...
Isn't it nice to hear laughter in the press room, and it's not laughter at the press secretary, it's with the press secretary? I just like that. And press secretary press secretary. It's hard to say.
Russia on areas of mutual agreement, but Russia has now decided to recall its ambassador. I mean, is there a concern that the president agreeing that Russian President Putin is a killer could escalate tension even further?
Well, our ambassador, Sullivan, remains in Moscow. We remain engaged, and he remains engaged, as does our team on the ground with the Russian people. We continue to believe that diplomacy is the first step and should always be the first step and should be our objective as we pursue all relationships, even with our adversaries. So we are hopeful that that will continue to be the case.
And just want to get your reaction to actually some of Putin's exact words here, because he responded with a bit of a euphemism that translates roughly to, "It takes one to know one," pointing to slavery in America, treatment of Native Americans, the atomic bombing of Japan. Does the president have any response to that kind of language?
Well, the president believes that one of the greatest attributes of the United States is our honest self-reflection and our constant striving for progress. And there's always more work to do, as he's stated himself. I've been doing this long enough not to try to get in the mind of President Putin.
Is there a rule? And I'm not a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination. I'm literally wearing a green screen today. Is there a rule that redheads shouldn't wear red, or that redheads shouldn't wear orange? I'm not critiquing Jen. She looks great. and quite frankly, I don't care how she looks. She's doing so far in this press conference. She's doing a fine job as press secretary, and I appreciate that. But is there some kind of, are there any redheads out there or fashionistas that know? Is it they can't wear orange? They can't wear, like, a ginger should not wear. I swear to God, there's an expression. I could be completely wrong, and this is completely apropos of nothing. But she looks good in red. I thought that they shouldn't wear red. I don't know. And again, not important at all. She could be wearing one of those sumo wrestler suits. It doesn't matter. That's an old standard for colors that doesn't apply anymore. Okay. All I know is that when I wear red, all my facial blemishes just pop.
Putin, but I can assure you.
I know it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me to stretch out because I don't care what color your hair is, but you do not want to upset a ginger. Not that I'm putting people into groups, but it's true though. It is true. Producer Joanne is a fashionista. Can redheads is there a color they're not supposed to wear? Is it brown? I don't know. I knew a redhead at one point who I can't even remember what the color was, but she's like, I absolutely cannot wear this color. Yellow? That's not true. I don't know. This is why it's Facts and Friends. I postulate on the facts, and you're my friends. You tell me what the facts actually are.
That President Biden still believes there's more work we can do here in our own country. Go ahead.
Just to follow up quickly, you're talking about self-reflection, does President Biden regret calling Vladimir Putin a killer?
No, the president gave a direct answer to a direct question.
So then how you don't want to escalate tensions, how is that constructive to the relationship when you talk about diplomacy being primary between the U.S. and Russia? How is calling Vladimir Putin a killer constructive to that relationship?
Well, President Biden has known President Putin for a long time. They've both been on the global stage for a long time, worked through many iterations of a relationship between the United States and Russia, and he believes we can continue to do that.
Does the president believe that the leaders of Mohammed bin Salman, one of the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, does he view him as a killer?
I don't think I need to add more killer names from the podium just today. But
I won't ask you about other countries that as well.
Okay.
But let me ask you about immigration.
Yeah.
If I can quickly, the president
Sure,
has made it very clear in his recent interview that the border is not open, effectively that it's closed, except for these unaccompanied minors right now under humanitarian grounds
Yeah.
for being welcomed into the U.S. But as we speak, crews from multiple outlets, including those from NBC News, are at the border. They're seeing many migrant families being accepted, young families being accepted into the country right now. So can you square those two when the message was that families and individuals were being sent home, but unaccompanied minors were being kept? Why young families are in fact being kept here in the U.S. And detained?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit in here before, but we are still applying Section 42, which and with the exception is, of course, unaccompanied minors. There are limited scenarios, limited circumstances where we are very limited, I should say, where families are coming across, going through proper protocols at the border, being tested, and then having their cases adjudicated. Part of this is that, part of the reasoning is that, of course, we've closed Matamoros, and there has been some less participation in keeping some of these families in Mexico than in the past. In many of these policies we have supported, but the vast majority of people, vast majority who come to the border are turned away. The border is not open. These are very limited scenarios.
Sorry, I just swallowed some mask here.
It's okay. We've all been there.
How limited is very limited? How many are being allowed in as it relates to families? And specifically, if the message that the president was sending this week is that the border is not open, what is the message to those families, given some are being allowed in right now?
The message continues to be, I'd be happy to provide you the numbers. I think CBP has the most up-to-date numbers, so I'd point you to them, and they provide those regularly. We'd certainly support that. I don't have them in front of me right now. I would say the message continues to be, now is not the time to come. the vast majority of families, of individuals, are sent back, are not welcomed across the border. And that's a message we will continue to convey clearly.
And just to follow up, you talked about how the president saw those photos in one of the recent briefings as it relates to these shelters, detention centers, decompression centers. I'm not sure what specific photos he saw. We asked yesterday, we'll ask again today, can you provide those? Will you provide those to the American public to see what it looks like there right now?
Well, first, let me say that the White House and we all in the administration support finding a way to grant access to the media, to the HHS and OR facilities or the shelters where these children are staying for a temporary period of time before they are placed with family members or with sponsored homes. The Office of Refugee Resettlement has not been hosting, as you've noted, media tours of unaccompanied children facilities currently due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but we remain committed to transparency and we're considering potential options, and we hope to have an update on that soon.
So even if we didn't get a tour, can you provide us the photos that the president was provided?
There was a private briefing, an internal briefing from several weeks ago. We typically don't provide those materials publicly, but we do want you to be able to, or a pool of media, to be able to have your own visuals and get your own footage of these facilities.
Thanks, Jim.
Go ahead.
A few things.
Okay, so do it. Let the press in. Make sure that they're masked. Hell, test them beforehand. Give them a 20-minute test. Make them do a PCR test 2 days before. Make them do the 20-minute test. Again, we've been promised the rapid tests. Why do I not have rapid tests on the end cap at 7-Eleven right now? This was September. Then it was re-promised in February. Just give us the tests. Right now, Kevin Lee Daughter's on her way back from a test. She works tomorrow. She's working background on a set tomorrow. That's extras and television. But she's going in for a test today, and then she goes to the studio. They test her with a PCR test. That's the longer test. And then when she gets to work tomorrow, everybody on the set gets tested with a rapid test. Gets her results back in 15 to 20 minutes. They sit at tables, or they're told to go back to their car, or however they came in, and say, okay, you're going to get an email. When you get that email, show it to us that says that you're clean, and you can work for the day. Why do we not have those? Why do they not have them at the borders? She said they're getting tested. She said the families are getting tested. Now the right wing is saying that they're not getting tested. So someone's not being accurate here. But she could have been referring to being tested for the families as to test them to the means to meet the asylum claims. I don't know. She didn't really clarify that, and Peter didn't ask for clarification. But if, in fact, the people coming into this country are being tested for COVID, then that should be announced loudly and clearly for the American people. Because that's the big thing that the right is playing on right now. Oh, look at all these people. They're untested and they're coming into the country. They're going to kill us all. Oh, President Biden is killing Americans. Meanwhile, Texas, open. You don't have to wear masks. Do whatever you want. You want to go to a crowded movie theater? Enjoy. Shout fire while you're there. Such hypocrites. So what was it, a couple of days ago? I looked up the top 15 counties in Texas with new cases. I actually looked up the top 10. I figured there might be one or two border counties on there because this was they're coming in through the border and they're infectifying everyone. Everyone at the border is a new case, right? Because all of these children, again, open the schools, but the children coming in, the unaccompanied minors, they're all infectified, right? According to the right wing. They're going to kill everyone. I've heard estimates as high as 10 to 20% of these kids coming across must be infected with COVID, but that we're not testing them. But if that was the case, you would see cases spike on all the border countries, or counties, anywhere across. That's where they are, right? So I looked up the top 10 counties in Texas. None of them are anywhere near the border. Not one. So I kept going. I went all the way down to 15. Nope, not a single county in the top 15 in terms of new cases in Texas. Plus, if we're not testing them, if the federal government is not testing them, then when they're released, the local cities and counties are testing them. And if they're not, they should be. But, for example, if they get out in Hidalgo County, they're tested. by the county or by the city in which they're being released. By the way, they're not just released. Unaccompanied minors are given over to a sponsor family or a regular family, the foster care system, if they have family in the United States. And a lot of them do come in and they say, I have an aunt in El Paso or Seattle or wherever. And then that is actually, they test that to see if that's accurate, and then they're released to the responsible adult. I would love to, if I had a house, I'm in Los Angeles right now. If I had someplace to live and a bedroom for one of these kids, I would love to sponsor one of these kids and finally learn Spanish. I grew up in Canada, so I learned some French, un petit peu. But never, I'm not good with the Espanol. I would love it to sponsor one of these kids and bring them in.
Back to Russia for a second.
Yeah.
There was the SolarWinds hack. There was the reported bounties on the heads of U.S.
Yes.
troops. The president said in this interview something on that is coming. What is the holdup? When is the response from the United States coming? Because he inferred in the interview, stay tuned.
Right. Well, we also have already put forward sanctions in response to the poisoning of Alexei Navalny. There's already been a release of a report about their engagement in the 2020 election, and we will have responses to each of these malign actions that we have expressed concern about, and the president has offered a review of. Weeks, not months, remains still the policy. There's, of course, internal policy decision-making about to assess and take a look at the review, but also to make decisions about policy engagements. Some of the responses may be seen, some may be unseen, and of course, the president reserves the right to respond in a manner and time of his choosing, as any president would. But he did make clear that the Russian government will pay a price.
On these vaccines going to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Sean put up a note in the chat room there. Duolingo is good for Espanol. Also, she won like a Grammy Award the other night. So congratulations to Duolingo.
This comes, of course, as the United States is talking to Mexico about this border situation.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any strings attached regarding the situation on the border with this decision to give AstraZeneca doses to Mexico?
There are several diplomatic conversations, parallel conversations, many layers of conversations with every country, Mexico, Canada, Europe, Asia, around the world, and certainly being part of contributing to preventing the spread of a global pandemic is part of one of our diplomatic objectives. Another one of our diplomatic objectives is working to address the challenges at the border. So it shouldn't be a surprise that those conversations are both ongoing and happening.
If I'm hearing you, the vaccine was given, were there expectations set with the Mexicans that they help deal with the situation on the border?
There have been expectations set outside of unrelated to any vaccine doses or requests for them that they would be partners in dealing with the crisis on the border, and there have been requests unrelated that for doses of these vaccines. Every relationship has multiple layers of conversations that are happening at the same time.
Shouldn't rule out, or the United States isn't ruling out, using our vaccine stockpile in terms.
I'm actually trying to convey that with every country, there's rarely just one issue you're discussing with any country at one time, right? Certainly, that's not the case with Mexico. It's not the case with any country around the world, and so I wouldn't read into it more than our ability to lend vaccine doses of a vaccine that we have some available supply on to a neighboring country where there is a lot of traffic that goes back and forth between the countries.
Two other quick ones, one related to the Atlanta shooting. You've been asked this before, but in February of last year, then candidate Biden said that on his first day of office, he'd send a bill to Congress repealing the liability protection for gun manufacturers and closing the background check loophole. I know you've been asked about this. There's an attorney general in place now. When, if any, when might we hear more about the administration's plans regarding gun violence?
It remains a commitment personal commitment of the president to do more on gun safety, to put more measures in place, to use the power of the presidency to work with Congress. And certainly there is an important role, as you noted, for the Attorney General and the Justice Department to play in this regard. I unfortunately don't have any updates for you today, but it is an issue he remains committed to.
And one quick local issue, the House Oversight Committee on Monday is holding a hearing on DC statehood.
Mm-hmm.
President is a supporter of this.
Yes.
Does he think it could, if it passes the House, does it have a chance in the Senate, given the filibuster situation right now?
It's going to be a lot of filibuster questions, etc. This is a very good question, Prophet Teller. Kevin Lee, did you have any side effect after your vaccine? Yes. My arm was a little sore, but only when I moved it. Like if I was doing this, that's my arm. Plus, I now have an American flag on my shirt. I don't know if that's vaccine related. But yes, I did have a wonderful nap for almost 2 hours on Saturday. So I got the shot Saturday morning, had a wonderful nap Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday night, I slept like a baby. I slept 9 hours and 27 minutes or something like that. I could pull it up. But not only did I sleep beautifully on Sunday night, coming up on about 36 hours after the vaccine, not only did I sleep beautifully, so I could say I was a little bit fatigued. Fatigue is the wrong word. I was relaxed. The vaccine relaxed me. And here's another, I don't know if this is a side effect of the vaccine or not, but my pulse, typically my pulse when I sleep is going to be 35, 36 on the low end. My pulse was 33 on Sunday, so it almost killed me. No, so it was about 3 beats lower than normal on Sunday. And I've been that low before. That's not unusual for me. I remember being down to 27. I woke up my cardiologist. Poor guy. My old cardiologist. Now I have a lady cardiologist. I just have a naturally very, the scientific term for it, believe it or not, is athletic heart. And I thought I was getting complimented. Every time that I would go to the doctor, they would take my pulse. They'd take it again, and they'd be like, and then the doctor would come in and look at my pulse rate and say like, that's athletic. And I thought like, well, thank you very much. That's the scientific, that's what they've decided that heart rate is. The low heart rates are called athletic. And then I would explain that I play hockey, and they're like, really? Is hockey that? I was like, yeah, that's. But I haven't played hockey in over a year now. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. I will be playing hockey again soon. Once I'm all done, come around 4:20, I'm going to be back out there on the ice. Where's my lighter? 4:20, everybody. It's actually 4:18 because I got the vaccine a couple of days early. Hey guys, if you are not eligible for the vaccine, if you don't have the vaccine, my friend Nicole lives just over there in Pasadena way. You have to go to the garage though to get to her house, so the garage is behind us. She and her lovely husband, what they did a couple of days ago is they just drove around to CVS pharmacies at about 6 o'clock at night and said, "Hey, are you going to have any vaccines left?" And one of them said, "Yeah, come back in about 20 minutes." And they did. And they got the vaccine. Neither of whom are eligible to make an appointment right now in California. But now they both have the vaccine. And in California, at least, once you have the first vaccine, you have to receive the second vaccine. If you don't have an appointment for the second vaccine, you just go and show them your card at any of the mass vaccination sites, and they'll vaccinate you. Because right now, that's the situation right now. Oh, hey, Ian. Good to see you. So that was an excellent question. Relaxation and optimism, and possibly more hockey at some point. Yeah. So I put in. I had my one of my cars, Privilege, broken into in Seattle back at the beginning of the epidemic, and they grabbed my hockey bag. I don't know that they knew it was a hockey bag. I think they grabbed a couple of sticks. they left Kevin Lee daughter sticks in there. I think they just wanted to mess around with it. And I just finally filed an insurance claim because it turns out that would be covered by my renter's insurance or my homeowner's insurance, not by my auto insurance. I didn't want my auto insurance to go up. So I might be getting some more hockey equipment at some point here. Can I cover yeah, let's do that. Let's go to we'll pull up the CNN or something, and we will go to a live update there on the shooting situation. You know what? No, I don't want to cover that. What Chris 2 said. All right. Now, several people. Do you guys want me to cover the press conference on the shooting? First off, I haven't eaten anything, so I was going to wrap it up now anyway. But there's just nothing good about that. It just the mass shooting. Let's pull it up. And when they say 3 minutes, that usually means like 40 minutes. But we'll see. If it's 11:09 now, we'll give them to 11:11. It sickens me. It literally makes me ill to watch press conferences like that. But let's pull up the CNN and we'll pull up the live shot here. Biden is ordering the flag at half staff for the victims of the shooting in Atlanta. So a lot of anti-American crimes. Fox is covering Putin calling Biden a killer. Remember, Trump said, when Trump was asked about Putin being a killer, Trump's response was, well, we're not so great. You know, America first. What's the movie going to be on Friday? I don't know. Joanna does not want to cover the mask shooting coverage. Yeah, give me some coverage of a legit gun control bill passing. Oh, producer Joanna. Sweet, sweet, naive producer Joanna. Gun control. That's cute. Mike Pompeo is on Fox right now. I don't know why. This is Senator Gohmert.
Right, there's old sayings in Texas about
Roy.
Find the.
This guy. This is during live coverage.
Spewed the exact
CNN.
rhetoric that is blamed for inciting the racism while invoking terms tied to lynching. It forced one Asian American congresswoman to respond quite forcefully. Let's watch.
I don't think I'll cover the press conference. Number one, because seriously, it's 11:11 now, and it's not being broadcast. Those are always delayed, and I am really, really hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet today. So we'll watch Chip Roy in a second here. I'm now down 25 pounds since the beginning of the year. I weighed in at 174 yesterday, which is less than I've weighed, I think, since I was in my early 20s. I'm quite happy with it. The one side effect of that, the one downside, is that if I want to throw a tantrum where I put my hands on my hips and start stomping my feet, the love handles are like, they're still there a little bit, but it's harder. Do you see what's going on here, guys? This is terrible. If I want to go legs akimbo, like they just. Is it a douche that I'm so happy? Really, I'm bragging that I've lost this much weight. What I'm saying is you can do that too. The guy who plays Mac on Always Sunny in Philadelphia has a wonderful video on YouTube about how to lose weight. If you join us for the Zoom movie on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, maybe we'll watch it. I can't watch it here because I'll get a YouTube copyright violation. I'm already in enough trouble with YouTube. They've demonetized me. And yes, I'm bragging. I know that I'm bragging. Does that bother anybody when I talk about losing weight? Fewer calories, more exercise, and I have been obsessive with the exercise. I play Netsing with anybody that'll play with me. Shout out to producer Joanna. Shout out to her brother that I actually didn't play with on Monday, but he was there. Shout out to Kevin Lee Daughter, Rich Mack. If you're in the room, let's play some tennis. My skin hasn't caught up to my weight loss yet. No, it's like I don't even have folds of skin there. Jennifer's a patron. Yay for Jennifer. Yay. And also somebody else adjusted their patron level the other day as well. Liberty. Libby is a new patron, so thank you for all the new patrons. Let's first watch Chip Roy and then see if the gun coverage is happening, and I'll let you guys go if that's the case.
The victims of race-based violence and their families deserve justice. And as the case, what we're talking about here with the tragedy, what we just saw occur in Atlanta, Georgia.
What kind of a mask is that anyway, that like sits out like this? Because the virus is subject only to gravity. It can't possibly be carried by the breath up and out of the mask.
I would also suggest that the victims of cartels moving illegal.
Producer Joanna lost 2 sets playing Netsing today. She said, I lost 2 sets today, but still fun Netsing. So Americans call Netsing tennis. Everybody outside of the United States knows what I'm talking about. How very continental of you, Joanna, to call it Netsing. You're learning. I feel like my work here is done.
The aliens deserve justice. The American citizens in South Texas that are getting absolutely decimated by what's happening at our southern border deserve justice. The victims of riot.
Jennifer got her Serengeti badge for 3 weeks of walking. Congratulations.
And looting in the streets last week, businesses closed, burned last summer, deserve justice.
So this is what the Republicans have always been doing lately. Yes, oh yeah, the insurrection, you shouldn't have any violence, that's bad. Oh, the killing of the Koreans, that really, really bad. Racial violence is really bad. You know what else is bad? Black Lives Matter. Always. Like, just try and stay on task. Yes, we know that riots are bad. Nobody is saying that riots are good. Nobody.
We believe in justice.
Jessica lost 58 pounds last year. Awesome, Jessica. Again, if you're overweight, I've been overweight. I've hit the point of obesity. That's not doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're still the same person. But it is healthier to be a little lighter. That's all I'm saying. And I encourage everyone to be healthy. Speaking as a guy who's had a couple of heart attacks, consider it. And let us know if you are successful.
All right, there's old sayings in Texas about, find all the rope in Texas and get a tall oak tree. We take justice very seriously.
Here you go.
Last summer, deserve justice. We believe in justice. All right, there's old sayings in Texas about, find all the rope in Texas and get a tall oak tree. We take justice very seriously.
I'm not really sure that talking about racial justice is the time to use a lynching reference. Plus, I don't think anyone in Texas says that because listen to this expression.
Businesses closed, burned last summer, deserve justice. We believe in justice. All right, there's old sayings in Texas about, find all the rope in Texas and get a tall oak tree.
You don't need a taller tree for lynchings. Like, just get a tree with more branches. Just at about 10 feet or so. That's a taller tree makes no. Then you got to climb up in the tree to hang the. Come on, Chip. Is that a saying? Has anyone looked that up? Because if that's a saying, that's a really dumb saying. Also, fucking racist. Let's hang it from a tree. Who says that? Justice is blind. Apparently, Chip Roy is too, because he cannot read the room. Look at the lady behind. Her face is America right now. Let's go back to 15 seconds and see if there's a shock face there. Jennifer Paulson says, Ron Johnson, he would have been afraid if it had been BLM or Antifa on January 6th, but wasn't because it was Trump's people. Here's the thing. Ron Johnson was also on the Senate floor like a week before that saying there were no Trump people. It was all Antifa and Black Lives Matter. But he wasn't afraid because it wasn't Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Make up your mind. I'm kidding. He doesn't have a mind. Marcy was 90 pounds. Marcy has lost 90 pounds. She says she was a fatty. What that really means, Marcy, is that there's less of you to love. Let's go back 15 seconds. Let's just watch her face.
Rioting and looting in the streets last week, businesses closed, burned last summer, deserve justice. We believe in justice, right? There's old sayings in Texas about, find all the rope in Texas and get a tall oak tree. We take justice very seriously, and we ought to do that.
Big heavy sigh there. Looks down. I don't know if typically it's one of the aides, one of your staffers that sit behind you. She may be one of his staffers.
Round up the bad guys. That's what we believe. My concern about this hearing is that it seems to want to venture into the policing of rhetoric in a free society, free speech, and away from the rule of law and taking out bad guys. So now we're talking about whether talking about China, the Chi-Coms, the Chinese Communist Party, whatever phrasing we want to use, and if some people are saying, hey, we think those guys are the bad guys.
What? Look at this! Why are you even bothering, you mask hole? What is that?
For whatever reason. And let me just say clearly, I do. I think the Chinese Communist Party...
It doesn't do anything.
Running the country of China, I think they're the bad guys. I'm not going to be ashamed of saying I oppose the Chi-Coms. I oppose the Chinese Communist Party. And when we say things like that, and we're talking about that, we shouldn't be worried about having a committee of members of Congress policing our rhetoric, because some evildoers go engage in some evil activity as occurred in Atlanta, Georgia. Who decides what is hate? Who decides what is the kind of speech that deserves policing?
I want to go back to something that Mr. Roy said earlier. Your president and your party and your colleagues can talk about issues with any other country that you want, but you don't have to do it by putting a bullseye on the back of Asian Americans across this country, on our grandparents, on our kids. This hearing was to address the hurt and pain of our community, to find solutions, and we will not let you take our voice away from us.
I'm joined now by Democratic.
Okay, some strong feelings there, and justifiably so. Let's just jump ahead and see if the police hearing is on yet. No. So I will probably let you go at that. The live hearing, if you'd like to watch that, I encourage you to watch that on your own. I don't think I'll watch it because typically there's not a ton of news that come out of these news conferences, post-shooting news conferences. And of course, when the sheriff covering the news conference is a fucking racist, that certainly doesn't help. Hopefully in that county they have themselves, they've got themselves a new press spokesman. The sheriff, or whoever the representative was who spoke to the media yesterday, said that the shooter was having a bad day. You know, could have gotten some box wine, made himself a bubble bath, but instead he decided to kill 8 people. Because, you know, we've all had bad days, really. Typically when I have a bad day, I try and limit my shooting sprees to 3 or 4, right? Because then the gun rights advocates have something to argue. Like, that's not a mass murder, because the FBI says it's got to be 5. It's just sad. There's nothing even funny about it. There is something funny about my hair. Can't wait to get a haircut. Yeah, so is he saying that Trump resurrectionists should get away with it because of the Black Lives Matter protest? Yeah, that's what a lot of the Republicans are saying. The whataboutism is insane. Yeah, that's bad. Guess what? Riots are bad? Yep, totally on board with that. Also, riots at the Capitol, bad. Also bad. Shooting people, bad. Unless it's a matter of self-defense. But otherwise, yeah, bad. Shooting people because you're a racist, bad. Shooting people because they're too attractive and you want to eliminate the temptation, crazy and bad. Speaking of bad, I'm going to end the podcast and go eat something bad for me. So, with all of the weight, I didn't finish the story. 25 pounds. I've lost 25 pounds as of yesterday. So, last night, I ate almost an entire pizza. And then I didn't do my ellipticals. I was too full. So, do you guys want to know what I weigh now after eating the pizza? See how many I ate? It was like a DiGiorno. It was a bake at home, and I like to pimp it out. I put some mushrooms on there. I put some olives on there. I put some more pizza cheese on there. So I pimped it out. You guys, I can end the broadcast if anyone's curious. I was 174 yesterday. I can go weigh myself right now. I can do the credits and then go weigh myself quickly, and then come back and let you guys how much I weigh this morning. It's not a podcast. I don't know why producer Joanna, and to whom she's talking, is a mystery to me, saying that it's not a podcast. But did I say it was a podcast? Whatever. But I don't think that's important. You want to know? Hey, Rich Mac, you play some netsing, right? Sorry, tennis. You play tennis, right, Rich Mac? I'll come back and look for the answer. So yesterday I was 174. I'm going to weigh myself right now. I'm going to run the credits. Stick around post credits. I don't know how long it's going to take me because I got to run and then I got to get naked and then I got to weigh myself and then I'll come back. You know what? I should probably put clothes on before I come back, and then we'll talk just a little bit more. Here are the closing credits, but we're not going to close with them. I'll be back.
Kevin, thanks for that.
Okay, mic on. Here we go. Anybody still here? Oh, no, you know what? We need the chat. So let me go back to the main feed. There we go. This is just too red for me. Give me a second here. Let's get rid of that. Let's go. That's good enough. Good enough for me. I don't need my headphones. You guys aren't talking. So I went and I weighed myself, and then I stepped on the scale, and then I was like, oh, hold on. And I took my glasses off because this is gonna make all the difference. So I'll let you guys guess. Yesterday I was 174. I'm not mute, am I? Hold on. Joanna, you're way behind. You're way behind. Go live. So I made a pizza last night, and like I said, it was just a DiGiorno. It was on sale at grocery outlet, and it's $2.99 or something like that. And I add some olives, and so this out of the pizza. So it's a pizza like, I don't know, like that. Well, you can do the math yourself. This is how much I left of the pizza. I ate everything else of the pizza. I was 174 yesterday. This morning, guess how much I weigh? It not just but like to the tenth of an ounce. For example, 155.2 or whatever. Like to the point. Marcy guesses 174. So anytime you eat something with a lot of salt, you can retain the water, etc. 174.5 is incorrect. Joanna is guessing 3 pounds. That would be 177. Sean says 172.4 is not correct, but the judges like your answer because that's what happens. You think like, oh man, I ate like a ton, or yesterday I starved myself and I ran the entire day. I woke up and went for a run and ran 28 miles. No, you've gained 8 pounds. Like sometimes it just makes no sense whatsoever. This is turning one of these food videos. So this is my treat. This is my applesauce. This is 40 calories, and it's cinnamon applesauce. 1777, you're close. Rich Max says 175.1. Marcy says 187. Incorrect, but the judges are laughing. They enjoyed your answer. Thank you. 250 is correct. 250 pounds because of that much pizza. See, I pimp it out. I put that's fresh mushroom right there. Those are olives from a can. Those are onions. I like to just shred onions. Onions on everything. Slept alone last night. Just unrelated to anything. Sugar creates fluid. Salt retains it. I didn't realize that the sugar created the fluids. So after 174 last night, yesterday afternoon. Yesterday, whatever it was. Yesterday, 174. Ate myself most of a pizza and a broccoli salad for lunch. This morning, from 174 to 177.2. Producer Joanna was very close with 250. 177.2. So 3 pounds, essentially 3 pounds. 3.2 pounds without my glasses. For eating pizza. Now today I'll try and eat healthy, and I will do some. There's a hockey game tonight, so I'll probably watch a hockey game elliptical for 90 minutes or so, and then we'll see tomorrow. And if I can go netsing later, I'll get some exercise. Exercise yesterday. I had netsing in the morning, but I didn't. That's what I'm saying. I didn't exercise. I ate a pizza and I didn't do the elliptical. I gained 3 pounds. But that was also a lot of its water weight is what they say. It doesn't matter. My scale doesn't care. My scale's like, I wish I had a scale that would say like, oh, you weigh 177. But really, that's only 175 because so much of it is water weight. I think my scale actually tells me like water weight and stuff like that. I'm not at that point. Joanna was the closest. She said 3 pounds. So congratulations to Joanna. Joanna, as a prize, you win this last pizza. So congratulations to you. You can come by and get it. I'll leave it on the porch for you. If the price was right, Joanna would win. That's true. She got closest without going over. But then she changed her guess to 250 pounds. So no, she does not win the pizza. I'm going to have to confiscate it and eat it myself. I didn't realize we were playing by Price is Right rules, but Marcy has spoken. Puts pressure on our inner ears, can screw your balance all up. Garlic? I don't know to what you're referring, Jennifer. You don't want the pizza, Joanna? That's disappointing. It's got a garlic sauce. Anyway, if you want some of this pizza, you can't have it, but you can go to Grocery Outlet if you live in the Los Angeles area or Seattle or Hawaii used to have one. They don't have one anymore. I'm sorry, Marcy. I always wondered how they can... Grocery Outlet is where like groceries go to die if there's overstock on something like these. 12 of these little applesauce containers, 12 of them in a box for 97 cents. Oh, okay. So, you know your Tony's Tostitos, the pizza rolls, Tony's pizza rolls, the little pizza rolls that kids love? I actually bought some of those yesterday at Grocery Outlet, and the reason was their list price is $11.99, and they're pizza rolls. Here's the thing: are they super good for you? Probably not. But are they a great like 2-minute snack when you've got to run out somewhere or whatever? Oh, hold on, I'll just make. And you know what? They're delicioso. Sorry, this is Kevin Lee Daughter. You guys chat amongst yourself for a second. Okay, so apparently there's no parking anywhere, and Kevin Lee Daughter's trying to figure out where to park our car, so I'm going to go and help her. Everybody have a great day. Bye.